One second.
Okay.
So I'll just show you what So I got a certificate this week. He's Honour of the British Empire, actually. He pretty much invented the International Criminal Courts of Investigations 25 years ago.
Okay.
Literate. Because nobody knew how to really investigate human rights atrocities, not properly.
No.
And then after the war, obviously, so he's pretty much set up the investigation of human rights. But one of my critiques on this course, British Global Leader, so he's been given the honour of the British Empire by the Queen. But one of my arguments is you're always investigating black and brown countries.
Yeah, but the white not. And they're the most who commit.
What about the Latin Americans? What about Trump? He needs to be. He's actually a rapist, isn't he?
That's what they say.
He is, of course he is. So I'll just show you. So that's why I'm here. I got the certificate, International Court. I'm freelance.
Okay.
And it's very difficult to get on this course. She's a Ukrainian lawyer.
Okay.
So she's doing some really hard work at the moment.
Yeah.
And it was a 1-week course, and that's why I'm in Nuremberg. But I respect this guy so much. He's basically goes to.
Can I show the guy? Go maybe water.
Maybe not.
No. Okay.
He doesn't because of what he does for a job. He doesn't want to be known, which is a shame.
I understand.
And then this man, Dr. Fred, I can say his name, Dr. Fred Buran, is a leading forensic psychologist, and he has exhumed 2,000 bodies from genocide. So this guy is next level. He's investigated 2,000 investigations. So that's who I've been with. This lady here is a top barrister, worked all over the world for child protection, Bangladesh, India, Ukrainian lawyers. So I've met some incredible people. So look how fresh I look at the beginning of the course. And then after, totally traumatized by the photos, the images of what humans can do to each other. And it doesn't make you look, for me, it doesn't make me, gives me lots of empathy and compassion for humans, but it makes me realize that humans are fundamentally quite awful. Some of the torture photos I've seen this week have just been like some of the things soldiers have done to
citizens.
At one point I almost had to leave the room because the discussion on torture was so barbaric. So I met some incredible people this week that are really trying to make a difference in their own way, in their own small way.
Okay, wait, I want to ask you a question about Kenya. In 2007, we had elections.
Yeah.
And a lot of... what happened in 2007 in Kenya? Genocide.
Oh.
You understand? You know the story?
Let me have a quick fact check. You can explain to people.
We had elections, and this year a lot of people died.
They did this year?
No. That year, 2007.
What was its name?
They brought to
Kenyan
IC. No, they brought Uhuru Kenyatta, our former president, and the current president. They were both in IC.
These guys were mentioned this week. Some people had to do case studies on him. What was the name that he was in ICC?
Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and William Samoei Ruto.
Right, like that.
Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yeah. And what were his war crimes?
This one. These are
that's right.
Former
so
president.
He was used as an example, and we had people on the course that worked on this case.
Yeah.
Barristers.
And is the case just finished or not yet?
Oh, that's it. His son murdered a white female tourist. Yeah, he's been sent to prison.
No. He is a Kenyan. He is a politician, ex-president.
Who has gone to the ICCI? The name of the president. Somebody's gone to the.
From Kenya, not. They were there, but I think they won the case. These two, they won the case.
Did they win?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Somebody mentioned it.
And the Kenyan people gave them the presidents to protect them from going to IC. Yeah.
Uhuru Kenyatta.
Uhuru Kenyatta, yeah.
So he's in the International Criminal Courts. That's it. Look, him. Yeah.
Yeah, the IC trial
Due to
of
lack
Kenya.
of evidence,
Yeah.
alleged witness tampering, so
Yeah.
African.
Yeah.
He was charged with crimes against humanity. As I said, it's very difficult to charge for genocide. So what you do is you pull out certain articles for crimes against humanity.
Okay.
Actually, you have to be really specific. Even though you might see what's happening in Palestine,
Yeah.
it's obvious to us it's not. You have to prove it still. So that's what I've been learning this week: how to investigate crimes under crimes against humanity. Genocide is very If you go for genocide, you're likely to lose.
Okay.
So post-election violence. So he was free.
Yeah. And when he came back to Kenya, we gave him the president to protect him.
Really?
Yeah.
And who gave him that?
Kenyans.
The Kenyans wanted him back.
Yeah, because we were like, why should the IC jail him? We have our own court. We don't want to be colonized anymore.
So one of my arguments this week, and I put in my feedback, was you've invaded Africa for 500 years and then you're putting more Western laws on them when they still haven't recovered from your invasions, and then you're putting more Western colonial invasions on them. But to counter-argue that, a Kenyan was on my course, and she said, well, actually, when the ICCI got involved with Kenya, we were really happy and relieved that he was taken to The Hague.
Yeah.
So it's always complicated, isn't it? Because fundamentally, I don't agree with Western interference of African indigenous peoples and lands.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's going to be some people in Kenya that were so happy that he was arrested and taken to the ICCI.
Yeah, there was some.
But then, if you're always from colonized groups like us, there's a defiance to us that says, well, who are you? Regardless of your crimes against humanity, who are you to be the world's police again, telling us how to live, black and brown people, when you're the ones that's massacred the country in the first place? So there's that double standards that I don't agree with Western international human rights law. International human rights, so it's not even Western, but it's created from the West. And so it's interesting that you say that the Kenyan people, they wanted him back, regardless of his crimes against humanity, because they'd rather have him than the colonial laws, modern human rights laws that are put back in place.
So giving him the president, it was like we protected him from the presidency.
But I'm sure not every Kenyan agreed with this.
No, not everyone. But if he... And also, we don't believe that whatever happens like with this voting in Kenya, the president is...
So are you saying, do you think, when it comes to... say, let me just get his name. When it comes to someone like Uhuru Kenyatta, would you say the majority or half would rather have him back in Kenya than be tried by the international investigations?
For me, I think I would prefer that we as Africans, we have our own thing. No interference whatsoever.
No, back off, no interference.
Yeah, zero.
And sorry
Africans
for my ignorance. What was his crimes against who? Who was he murdering?
So it's this has to do with the politics. It's like what people say is they were in charge of buying like machete.
Which tribes was
this
he
is
after?
Kikuyu. This is Kikuyu, and maybe against Luo or other tribes. You know? Yeah.
So it says here that he caused thousands of deaths, displacement over 500,000 people as well. So this week we have been learning how to investigate against victims of sexual and gender violence.
But you can't, no one can win it because he was the president, his vice president is the president, and if he goes, his vice president will be the president. So
but wasn't Jomo Kenyatta really corrupt? A really horrible man?
Jomo Kenyatta is his father, is the first president of Kenya.
Right.
Yeah.
And was he a dictator?
I don't know because I wasn't born. He died before.
But was he voted in by the people?
No, he was never voted because he got the presidency after the colonial went out.
So again, because of British interference, you brought this person.
Yeah, then when he died, his vice president Moi ruled Kenya for 24 years.
Wow. So I'm just looking at the charges of Kenyatta.
No, they were. I don't think they were charges.
5 counts of crimes against humanity: murder, deportation,
this is the son.
Transfer, rape. Oh, this is the son.
Yeah, this is the son, Uhuru Kenyatta.
So who was he attacking?
I think.
Where is
the
the
other
areas of
tribes.
Nakuru, Nabasha, Oh, Kibera.
Yeah,
I've been
Kibera.
there.
Ah, okay.
I've been to that community. I took my son.
Oh,
I
yeah.
felt really at home in Kibera. I'm going to do some.
Kibera slum.
Yeah, I felt really at home. I'm going to do some work in Kibera so soon. So I've been in touch with them.
Okay.
Oh, so what was he doing in Kibera? Clearing out, trying to clear out.
Kibera is in Nairobi.
Yes, but it says here this is the crimes he was committing.
Yeah, maybe
These big
killing people
locations.
these are places where the violences were. People died. All these places.
It is interesting because I did bring that forward too this week, but it wasn't their priority to racialize their cases. And I said, why does the ICCI always tend to go for African and Arab nations?
Yeah.
You know, you've got Donald Trump in America at the moment, guys.
Yeah, they can't do with Donald because Donald.
They've only just put Netanyahu on the war crimes list.
Yeah, the UN, no?
Yeah, the
Who
UN.
is I don't know. There's someone big there is American. Like they get the protection from American. The military is American, no?
America doesn't
what-
need protection because
No,
it's
the
the most,
UN. UN.
yeah.
They have everything from the American, no? Military, money.
No, yeah, I always see. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So-
So that's why. I was going to say because America doesn't need protecting; it's the daddy.
Yeah, I know,
It's the
but
mama. of
they
the
fund
world.
everything.
From-
So
yeah, absolutely. It's not in the UN's best interest to start gunning for white males in white Western countries. And as I always call it, and I'm not diminishing these crimes either against humanity anywhere in the world, but it's low-hanging fruit, you know. And also what was said this week, which is really interesting. We're talking about Netanyahu, and he's now under the International Criminal Court on the war. He's wanted now by the ICCI.
yeah. But where can he go and be arrested?
But listen to this.
Where?
So there's a German barrister on the course, and they said that even if Netanyahu did fly to Germany, they would never ever arrest him because of the historical abuses of the Jewish people. So it's all political. And so human rights people seem to think that human rights is about kindness and doing what you can for humanity. And for me, it is. But the more I get into this murky world, the more I realize it's just another form of politics.
So it's like in Kenya, our president has a good relationship with the Israel, France, because I heard they gave the Israel 500 acres of land in Kenya to build something. Yeah. So Kenya now takes all the criminals in our country.
Do they? Why do they take them all?
Netanyahu, Macron, what do? They don't invest. They don't bring anything good in anywhere they go. But our current president is their friend.
And this is the problem.
Yeah.
I've never seen so much collusion living in Africa. From North Australia is not going to get on with the southern tribe of Australia. They argue like, our tribe's this and we want this, and our tribe's that and we want that, rather than them trying to get one big unity together. And I believe that one of the reasons Europe, I wrote it years ago, and anyone can challenge my ideas. They're just ideas. I'm a free thinker and I'm a free flower. Everything I say is not with absolute conviction. It's just opinions and ideas.
Yeah.
But I believe one of the reasons Europe is so successful in structure is because it has very, very clear structures, and the hierarchy is very, very clear.
Yeah, that's like in a way that if man is there, they know exactly where it is.
Yeah, there's a unity to the hierarchy, and so you'll get less. So, for example, it's just an observation. When I see British Army people and American Army training, they train as in a unit, and it's tight, and they all jog the same, they all chant the same, they're all on one focus the same. They're like one big white machine. When I see the Tanzanian or the Zanzibarians training in the army, there's 4 down there, there's 3 down there, there's 1 limping down the road, there's 2 talking to each other, there's 1 like exhausted.
No unity.
There's no unity. It's like the best 6 are at the top, like, and then the worst are at the back, really overweight. And I said to my son, and I said, and here is like one of the maybe the psychological problems of Europe has Europe has this solid infrastructure, this system. It's really difficult to penetrate. It's really difficult to break. Hence, you get people like Che Guevara, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela. You can't break this system. But actually, African systems are really, really easy to penetrate because all you need is a little bit of money, a little bit of bribery. If you try to bribe the top army guy in England,
he does. Yeah,
you go into prison in seconds. It's not going to happen.
But this starts from home, you know, as a kid, the way you were raised. Huh? Yeah, honesty. But in Kenya, already from home, you hear your father. There is no honesty.
Yeah. So also, it's just observations. They're not academic research. It's not facts. It's just observations. Another observation is we have so many checks and balances in place in England that we have like internal investigation all the time. So people snitch on people in England. You do something wrong, you're getting snitched on like within minutes. We have so many systems in place to protect vulnerable people, to protect ourselves. We have so many laws in place in schools.
In Kenya, if you snitch, they next time they don't tell you.
So I won't say the school, but there's a school in Zanzibar, and basically so much corruption has gone down. It turns out that one of the staff's stolen, been stealing for 2 years. Another staff's have been having relations with a student. And I'm not saying that this doesn't happen in England, but what I'm saying is that it hits the news because it's such a big deal, because there's checks and balances in place all the time. Whereas Africa, I think another reason foreigners like to come to Africa is because there's zero checks and balances. You're pretty free to do what you want. And people always say, if you've got the money is king in Africa, if you've got the money, you can get everything and anything. Now, that would be the same in Europe. If you've got a lot of money, you can pretty much get what you want. But there's the law is held in real high regard in England, and that can work for some people, it can't work. And I believe that there's a brilliant book, I'll just finish with this, called it's basically about why the white males have dominated the world. I'm gonna have to I'll find it in a minute. How have white males been able to dominate the world in such for 600 years? But we have to remember every civilization has dominated. We had the Romans, we've had Genghis Khan, we've had some incredible civilizations in Africa dominate Africa. So it's not just like a white thing, but more recently in modern history, why have white males been able to dominate Europeans? And it's literally, they have said, this professor in Canada, because of the weather. Because when you do live in Africa or Jamaica, you can get bananas off the trees, you can swim in the ocean, you can buy some fish off your local market lady. There's an abundance. But if you come to where I was born in northern England in the winter,
you have to walk.
Oh my God, it's so cold in northern England in the winter. And I used to say to my son when we lived there, imagine having to survive this.
So you have
500 years ago.
You have
There's
to
no
think.
apples on the trees.
So you have to think also
100%.
in the next 2 years, also in the next what to do. In Africa we don't.
Because you might get a bad season. You might have a lake, and then one day it's 3 meters of ice that you've got to figure out how to break that and not kill your family. And so I truly believe one of the reasons that Africa has been invaded so, not easily, because people fought for their rights, and so did in Jamaica, but the ruthlessness, I think people comment on the ruthlessness of the Europeans, is because being in extremely cold countries, people don't realise how cold Northern England can be, let alone Denmark and Scotland, that you have to toughen up mentally and have to figure out how to survive for the next 200 or 300 years. So coming to Africa, invade and going, hang on a minute,
here is everything.
Every day is hot.
Easy.
The ocean is there.
The house you can sleep outside.
The fish is there. You sleep outside. There's no bills. We want some of this. And with the African nature, and I love this about, and I'm speaking generally about African nature, they used to be, and they're probably not anymore, very welcoming, because it was community. They didn't have to fight over anything.
They trusted easily.
They trusted easily because everything was there. So in answer, possibly one of the reasons for such ruthless colonialism is purely because Northern Europe's weather is horrendous, and for half of the year it's just freezing cold. And I'm going to Google the the book. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's the reason also. You know, in Africa, like when I was living there, you don't need, example, let's say a fridge to store something, because you know tomorrow I will get fresh one. Here in Europe, you need that.
Yeah.
For me,
It's so true.
yeah, the things which I was fighting with when I first came to Germany was I had to, if I go shopping, I have to think in the next 1 week what
That's
I will
right.
eat. In Africa, you can go to shop every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
So one of the things I noticed about food storage, absolutely, is when I first came to Zanzibar, I was shopping, like a Mzungu, like Northern England, and my pineapple would go off in like 2 days, and one day because it's so hot, and all my food would just go off. And then I started to shop smaller and smaller, like an African. I was like, oh, that's why you only shop a little,
exactly,
because your food goes off. Whereas in England, you might have a big freezer and have that meat and fish in there for a year, because it's the psychology of our ancestors going, we need to store because it's cold, we need to store because it runs out. Whereas Frida, who's my housekeeper and family, she's like family to us, she buys little and often. Whereas in England, you would buy
a lot
for a lot in every week. Whereas in Africa, you buy a little maybe every day.
Yeah, and for me also, I had this problem. Like in Germany, let's say tomorrow is public holiday. It's Friday. Let's say it's public. No. Saturday is public holiday. You know, it will go until Sunday. So if you don't shop, you will have to go to a restaurant to eat. Example like this week, Monday is public holiday.
Yes.
Everything is closed.
Right.
So you have
in Germany.
Yeah. So today you have to shop, because tomorrow, Sunday, there is no supermarkets, and Monday there is no supermarkets. So if you don't shop today, then you are screwed. Yeah.
Whereas in Africa, you can always
every day, every time.
And also, I think, in Africa as well, I never feel like I've got really much of a community, but actually, I've got more people looking out for me and my son, because I'm a single mum. Met people messaging me going, congratulations, like looked out for your son, he's fine. When I lived in Manchester, I never had that. I was alone. It was just me and my son all the time, alone. I've moved to this continent, and you think you're not supported, but you just really are. And people really, and so what if you pay them? It doesn't matter. The fact is you can afford to pay them.
Yeah.
But you can't afford the support in Europe. I can't afford the support in Manchester. I can afford to be supported as a single mum in Africa. And that goes a long way. And again, just that community spirit of people going, congratulations for this week. Whereas in Europe, you don't get that. And for just a quick example, I smashed my windscreen back by accident, and this local guy was like, you pay me, I will fix that within a day. You pay me to do that job, I'll fix it. And he was taking some off the top. I said, if you want to do that, I'd love it. So I gave him the money, he took the car, he fixed me a screen, just drove it back to my house. I paid him to do that. In England, it's stress. As a single mum, I smashed the window, how do I get it fixed? How much is it? Can I afford it? That's another $200. In Africa, a guy goes, you give me your car, you trust me, you know my sister, she owns beef at the bar, they're the keys, that's the money. That's the difference.
Yeah, you know, in Europe, there is a lot of depression. First, for the people of us who come from Africa here direct. That's why people drink a lot of alcohol.
What, in Germany or Africa?
Yeah, in
Kenyans?
Germany.
Oh, you mean
Europe,
Germany?
Africans, if they come here.
Yeah.
Depression, loneliness, all this stress. What do you do? That's why most of the people, because this is the question which I was always asked, why are people in Europe, Africans, drink a lot of alcohol? Because they are always in the internet.
Just say to them, and I've written about this a lot in my research, racial and colonial trauma, and also I believe if you're from Africa, you can have weather depression. If Africans are used to having consistent sun,
Yeah.
all the way through the year, and then all of a sudden they have to navigate seasons.
Yeah.
And seasonal depression is very real. Even half Jamaican, I used to get seasonal depression from January to April, May. That's one of the other reasons I left England, because I was getting depressed because of the weather. And I'm half black and born in England. And so I always say to Africans that are desperate to move to Europe, before you think about that, try and make Africa work. It's an abundance continent.
Yeah.
It has so much. Yes, if you want to go to Africa, go to Europe, go.
Holiday.
Try and make it work. Find your euros. But Africans soon realise as well when they move to Europe that the money they make has been taken off from the government anyway. The tax is so high.
Oh, yeah, for first in Germany.
So how much really are you saving as an African in Europe? Or can you not make it work in your home? Because we're having brain drain as well. Africans, the minute they get their education, they're leaving for America, for Europe. Whereas instead of looking around going, I'm an African person, I come from a beautiful country, how can I get wealthy in this country? Rather than go to Europe. And actually upholding still the colonial powers that suppressed them and oppressed them. Whereas getting your education and seeing how you can make it work. Now listen, I'm a PhD, I'm a doctor, and if I'm not even living in England anymore, and I've taken serious pay cuts to live in Africa because the system is simply incompatible to me. The racism, the weather. And I'm from England, and I'm saying as a half black person, I'd rather live in Africa because I can get more support. It's hot. I'd rather support a growing continent again that's reorganizing itself. And I wish more educated Africans would actually stay at home, and they can make their money at home. You know, they can.
So we go back home.
Come home. And it's not easy. It's actually been the hardest 3 years of my life, but it's not as hard as England. And that's the truth. It's been hard, but not as hard as living in England with the constant undermining and racism of the British and European people. And in effect, if someone asked me, why did you move to Africa? I moved because of the weather and because of the racism. As an educated woman.
Okay, guys. It's been a nice time, huh? Yeah, so we are going back to Africa.
Come back, Pan-Africanism, and support Ibrahim, and support Burkina Faso.
Exactly.
And stop brain draining Africa. Come back, bring your intelligence to Africa, and let's rebuild this continent over 500 to 600 years of invasions. You want a beautiful country, you have to work towards creating a beautiful country.
Yeah. So, I hope this was a help for those Africans
and African diaspora, actually.
Yeah, exactly. I hope you enjoy. Till next time. Ciao.